and the lime perched on top. This is the luckiest of unions. As if the universe has swiped right, pairing flavors together with a crisp Dos Equis. This is refreshment designed by fate, blessed by destiny, and served by bartenders. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
What we love about our ability to help patients at QC Kinetics is seeing their pure delight at finally being able to do the things they enjoy without pain.
I had a patient start treatment with me. He wanted to be able to be active again and do some of his sports that he really enjoyed.
Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics, treats patients with chronic joint pain using their body's own biologics. The goal? Get them back to living their best lives without surgery or harmful drugs.
He came back and he goes, what I wasn't expecting was the ability to play on the floor with my grandchildren. Even just saying it now, I have goosebumps because it's changing those small moments that you take for granted.
Don't let joint pain rob you of those moments. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
It just warms my heart to be able to help people live the life they want to live and get those small moments back.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-691-6641. That's 602-691-6641. 602-691-6641.
Geico knows there's a home you and a road you. Right now you're hearing home you. He's not in an RV. He's at home, watching the great outdoors on TV.
For the lone gazelle, there sadly is no escape.
Meanwhile, road you always has an escape in an RV covered with Geico's added 24/7 emergency roadside service, so he can explore more of the great outdoors in real life, except maybe the ravine where the gazelle got stuck. Road you should avoid that. For more road you time, get more with Geico.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles Buffet or enjoy fine dining experience at the award-winning Choyo Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
Get more summer for your dollar with 4 slams for under $10 each at Denny's, like the new Red, White, and Berry Everyday Value Slam. It's summer on a plate with blueberry stuffed pancakes topped with strawberries, and for under $10. Valid at participating locations. Limited time offer. Additional restrictions and surcharges may apply at some locations.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
The Diamondback season officially at its end. It is the All-Star break. How much should we factor into what is going on in Vegas for Summer League for the Suns and potentially history made on the program today? There was a heated pre-show meeting between producer Evan and myself. We decided to table it, and we are saving it for the air. I think the first time in the history of the program that we are on opposite sides of a story. We'll get to that during the first hour of the program as well. Welcome into this, the Monday edition of the Lunch Break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evan is behind the glass taking your phone calls, 480-864-1060 if you want to get involved with the program here today. But yes, I made it official. We made it official a couple weeks ago. I think it's even more official now. The Diamondback season is over.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
I think to put it in its proper context on my show rundown, it says twice, 2 sentences repeated. The Diamondback season is over. The Diamondback season is over. Now, I don't know if that's a typo on our part, that we just copied the same sentence twice, or if we're just really emphasizing that after losing 2 of 3 over the weekend to the Los Angeles Angels, this is done. This is over with. Stop dreaming of this team buying at the deadline. Stop dreaming of this team going on a run in August or September. It's over. Done. You cannot lose 2 out of 3 over the weekend to the Los Angeles Angels. What did we say last week? We talked about 5 losses maybe in their next 13 games. They've already suffered 3 of those 5 losses, and that series coming out of the All-Star break against St. Louis feels like it's going to be the ultimate nail in the coffin. But you watch the way this team played over the weekend. You watch this team get walked off on over the weekend. You watch this team. Ask yourself, is that a team that Mike Hazen is going to reward with by buying at the deadline? Or is that a team that that now understands, is now ready to admit, we gave it a shot, we held on for as long as we possibly could, but this just isn't happening. And as one extra just kick to the groin right on the way down, one of the potential trade chips that you were going to have here at the deadline in Shelby Miller looks like he's going to need Tommy John surgery all of this year, the rest of this year, and probably all of next year gone for Shelby Miller. Just one extra little swift kick right to the groin to just remind you how bad this season has gone for this ball club. This weekend, losing this series to the Los Angeles Angels was the proverbial cherry on top of this terrible cake that this team has been baking all season.
When the Shelby Miller news came out, my first thought, and I was going to text you this, but then I was just like, I'll just bring it up on Monday. Have you ever seen a team have more pitchers need to get Tommy John surgery?
I'm going to try to do this off the top of my head. We're going to miss somebody. Before the season, they lost Jordan Montgomery.
Yep.
In the middle of the season, we lost Corbin Burns. We lost Justin Martinez. We lost AJ Puck, Shelby Miller. I definitely missed somebody.
I mean, that's 5.
Tommy Henry. We missed Tommy Henry.
Tommy Henry is 6.
And I think I think there was somebody else in spring that went down before Jordan Montgomery.
I've never seen that.
No. And you can't get up from that. And I'm not using that as an excuse because there's plenty of talent on this team. They should be better than they are. But that's just a hard thing to get up from. Every single night for a large chunk of this first half of the season, Torey Lovullo rolled up to the ballpark, not having a full 5-man rotation and not having trusted arms in the bullpen. It's just really hard to win baseball games, a lot of them, enough to be relevant going into August and September when that is what you are dealing with every single day. And they tried, and I think they fought longer than a lot of us thought they were going to. But you can't lose series like that over the weekend. You just can't do it.
No, I'll give them credit. I mean, they're 7 rounds into a 12-round fight, and they've hit the canvas in every round.
Right. This fight should have been over 3 rounds ago, but we just keep getting up. We keep answering the bell. We keep answering the 10 count. We're getting the pep talk in the corner. They're trying to rally us, and we feel like, one quick punch, we're right back in this thing. They've just never been able to land. Just a couple jabs here and there, but they're not able to land that knockdown punch, that big moment that tells you this team is back.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part. And you want to know how I know this season is over? How I know we're going to spend the next week or two? By the way, welcome into the longest week of the year. There's nothing going on in sports. Baseball's off. Basketball season's done. Hockey season's done. Football's still not started yet. Next couple of days, things are going to get weird here on the program, so buckle up.
If you've ever heard a segment that we said, we might do that later, it's probably this week. We've probably been saving it for now.
We're going to jam it all into the next 3 days while we have nothing actual on the television to talk about. But Bob Nightingale reported over the weekend that the Diamondbacks are ready to listen and will be listening on Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, Zach Gallen, and Merrill Kelly. And there it was. The first national reporter to storm through the wall, to storm through the gates and say the Diamondbacks are selling. Everyone's been kind of flirting with the idea. If they sell, if they choose to listen. Over the weekend, you got your first report that said they're listening. And none of those names should be surprising. They're the names we've been talking about ad nauseum here on the program. But now the results of the game don't really matter. What matters now is keeping up on the rumors, keeping up on who might be interested. Who's interested in Eugenio Suarez? Who's interested in Josh Naylor? Who's interested in one or both of the pitchers? Although it doesn't look like they're going to trade both of the starters, just because we just talked about this a couple of minutes ago. They're running out of options. So they probably need to have some capable bodies at the big league level throwing innings for them because they still have to play the baseball games in August and September. But now we are officially into the point of the season where the Diamondbacks are admitting, hey, this season didn't work. And you can be upset, you can be frustrated, you can be annoyed. All those things are valid emotions. But we all kind of knew this is where this was trending. There's not a shock or surprise that this is what the next 2 weeks are going to be. Just like it wasn't a surprise, the closer and closer we got to the NBA trade deadline, we all knew what the Suns were. We all knew what the Suns weren't, and they weren't a team that was going to threaten the top of the Western Conference like we thought at the beginning of the season they could be. And we all knew they were a team that should probably move some of the pieces. Hence why they almost traded Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. There won't be any close calls for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think they're going to move all of these guys. And for those of you out there, because I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, producer Evan, but there's this movement that's happening in Diamondbacks Twitter land to hold on to these guys. Give them the qualifying offer at the end of the season. Don't upset the clubhouse morale. Because the qualifying offer, getting that draft pick in the 2026 MLB draft, is going to be more than what they're going to get at the trade deadline. That's a movement that is starting to surface.
I couldn't disagree more. They have a chance to get multiple top 100 prospects. What's the best case scenario? In all seriousness, what's the best case scenario that they get in a compensation pick?
Yeah, I mean, there are examples of compensation picks being awesome, right? I believe Gunnar Henderson.
Mike Trout.
There are a bunch of...
David Wright.
David Wright is a compensation pick. Yeah, some all-time greats that are compensation picks that we can immediately come to front of mind. I think they'll do better than that by trading these guys.
I do too.
I think
you're still throwing a dart at a dartboard.
Well, yes, these are rentals, right? And I think that's the big argument. Oh, they're rentals. You're not getting them for more than just, a couple of months. Sure. But this is a demand thing. The more demand there is for the player, it can override that they're a rental. If you have multiple teams interested, that's going to drive up the price to where it's going to maybe be a little bit more than your normal expected price for a rental.
I think both of us would agree that Eugenio Suarez probably has at least 12 more home runs down the stretch. At least.
Do you remember a couple years ago, 2015, 2016, when the Mets traded for Yoenis Cespedes at the deadline?
Of course.
And he went to the Mets, and in the second half was an MVP candidate, hit a home run basically every single night.
He was insane.
I think
crazy as a Met.
He had 15 home runs the first half of that season with Detroit.
He finished with what?
35, 32.
Yeah,
it was something crazy. He just got hot. JD Martinez has had hot second halves after being traded. Castellanos.
Oh, yes. JD Martinez was an awesome Diamondback after being traded.
Correct.
Nick Castellanos is a Cub. Went nuclear, right? There are multiple examples of these. And to add a bat like that, I just don't know how you could pass up the demand on a right-handed, left-handed power option bat feels like it's going to be larger at this deadline than it has in years. And you have the cream of the crop at both spots.
If you traded one of the pitchers, Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, you traded 3 players at the deadline, I think you can get back 2 or 3 top 100 prospects. Now, maybe the actual returns will prove me wrong, but I think the market is going to be strong enough, deep enough, robust enough to where you're going to have multiple teams. And there's also this weird thing that by trading Suarez or trading Naylor is going to then increase the demand for the other player because they're both in the same power hitting corner infielder DH option market. You trade Suarez, all the teams that missed on Suarez might pivot and go, oh, we'll just try to trade for Josh Naylor. That might drive up the price there too. So I think they're going to be able to do well here. I think they're going to be able to get better than a qualifying offer for these players would have netted out. So I think they'll do well. I think they're going to prioritize, and we'll touch on this a little bit in hour number 2 of the program, what they're going to prioritize. But I think they're going to be able to set themselves up well for 2026 and 2027 because that's now what this is about. This is about taking advantage of this situation. We don't want them to be in this situation. On paper, they shouldn't be in this situation. They should be a lot better than this. They should be a team that's directly in the mix of the NL wildcard race or the NL West race, but for a whole host of reasons. Some self-inflicted, some the baseball gods not shining down well on the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are not in that position. And so now, instead of feeling sorry for themselves, instead of feeling sorry for the team, instead of being frustrated and annoyed, now it's time to take action. Now it's time to make the most of this bad situation. That's what they need to do.
And you have the opportunity to do so. You have the opportunity to save the next 2 years. That's the most important thing. What are we going to be able to see out of it? Young players, crack the major league lineup. You're going to get opportunity for these guys. You're going to start to really know what you have in your farm system and be able to add to it pretty quickly here in the next coming weeks.
Glad that they were able to salvage the finale of the series over the weekend, because boy, would just a sweep have just been.
I mean, I think that's the nail in the coffin, but I mean, you would have doubled down, tripled down on that.
Yeah, I don't see a world where they go on a run, because now the one benefit of the All-Star break, other than the celebration of the game and showcasing the stars of the game and home run derby tonight and all the festivities that we're going to see over the next couple of days, it gives all these organizations a chance to reset. It gives everybody a chance to stop focusing on the day-to-day, because for the Diamondbacks in particular this year, well, a lot of everyday roster moves being made, a lot of everyday shuffling of the deck chairs, right? A lot of injuries. Got to call guys up, moving guys around, guys hurt, coming back from injury, rehab assignments. You can kind of get lost in the day-to-day roster management of your big league club, because, again, you're trying to push all the buttons possible to keep this team afloat, to keep this team in the mix. Now that you have a couple of days off, you finished up yesterday, your next game's not going to be until Friday, you can kind of take that step back, 30,000-foot view, and now reevaluate. Guess what? Everybody else is going to do that. And this is where the phone calls start. They've been going for a little bit, but now everyone's got some free time on their hands. You're going to start to see the ice thaw here a little bit. I would not be surprised if very quickly out of the All-Star break, the first major move happens that kicks off a trade deadline spree. Because if you're a buyer, you want to be first. If you're a seller, you want to be last.
That's the most fun thing about the trade deadline is because you're always right up to the time, like, it's over. And then 2 minutes later, you get an alert. So-and-so has been traded. Yep. You're like, oh, that happened right at the end.
A buyer wants to go first because a buyer wants to set the price. They don't want to have to overpay. Sellers want to go last because they want all of the different comps to be able to use to get the best price possible.
And they want teams to be more desperate.
Yes. Deadline spur action. Desperation spurs action. So the closer we get to July 31st, the closer we get to that deadline, the more desperate teams get, the more anxious teams get. And those deadlines are going to spur activity and action all across baseball. And the Diamondbacks are going to be at the center of it all. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. You know it's All-Star Game week. You know it's the lull on the sports calendar. The YouTube live chat is discussing baking. Now, maybe it was because I said the cherry on top of the cake that the Diamondbacks were baking all season, but they're discussing cakes over there.
Speaking of baking, this is cooking. Got my new Dutch oven this week. So I'm going to break this out. I'm going to do a roast chicken in there.
Did we mention this on the air, or was this a morning meeting conversation?
I think that was a morning meeting
because it was Prime Day a bunch of days last week, and you were just scouring Amazon to try to get yourself a deal. And
that and a pasta cutter.
Yeah, you were all over upgrading some of the stuff in the kitchen. So you got it today, or you got it?
I got it over the weekend. Got it on Friday. Came home, had my pasta cutter, had my Dutch oven. I'm excited. I'm going to be breaking these things out this week. Didn't get the chance to use them this weekend.
We have all the time now because there's nothing going on. Legitimately. My fiance and daughter, they were on a trip last week. They came back over the weekend. They came back last night. And they're like, hey, what's going on this week? Because they know I do a lot of stuff. I do this show. I got to watch games when we're at home, right? A lot of extracurriculars for this job in particular. And they know that. They sign up for it. They're very accommodating of me when I'm sitting in my office watching a game and they're doing something, infinitely more important than that. But they understand that it's my job. They're like, hey, what do you got going on this week? And I'm like, nothing. No, legitimately nothing. I have nothing all week long. Nothing. After work, when I get out of here, there's no game to rush home to watch. There's no extracurriculars. So I'm just home tonight, just sitting around, just staring at the ceiling like what? Now I'll watch the home run derby probably, but as much as I love baseball, it's my favorite sport. I love it. The All-Star game stuff has never done it for me. Even as a kid, it never did anything for me.
The All-Star game, to be honest, never does. I am a home run derby fan.
I'll put it on. It'll probably be just background noise.
And I miss the 10 outs. I like the old format.
Well, we're doing an All-Star segment here coming up because you and I disagree on something about the All-Star game. So maybe we'll get into more of this here. Now, real quick before we go to break, Michael says Evan knows how to cook. Awesome. Now, Michael, Evan didn't say that. Evan said he got a Dutch oven and he is going to cook. He never vouched that he's a good cook.
No, my God, I'll vouch right now. I'm a pretty good cook.
Sure, you're going to vouch for yourself. That doesn't mean anything to me. It means absolutely nothing. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, Summer League has begun for the Phoenix Suns. How much stock should we put into Summer League? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays, 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Phoenix, are you ready to ascend? Bring me the horizon. USA Ascension Program, Part 1.
Every sky will build, my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center, October 2nd, with special guest
Crawling from hell.
Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring me the horizon. Presented by the Big Red Radio.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
You'll be one smart cookie when you try Bluebell Cookie Cake Ice Cream. A sweet cream ice cream loaded with chocolate chip cookie cake pieces and swirls of chocolate and vanilla icing. This cookie cake ice cream really takes the cake.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at all Fry's food stores and all Walgreens.
This is Brian Weber filling in for Jim with the Rome Report as we get closer to NFL training camps opening up around the country. All eyes will be on Pittsburgh due to the perception that the Steelers have gone all in. But for a franchise that has won 6 Lombardi trophies, what does all in really mean? Yes, the Steelers have been active signing future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers, in addition to adding intriguing players like DK Metcalf, Darius Slay, and their surprising trade for Jalen Ramsey. But coming off a 9-win season and playing in the rugged AFC, what will the impact of those moves be? Step 1 would be securing the team's first playoff win since the 2016 season, but for a fan base that evaluates years based on whether they end with a Super Bowl win or not, that may not meet expectations. We'll have to wait to find out how many wins the Steelers capture this season, but there's no doubt this team has already captured a ton of national attention. I'm Brian Weber.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey listeners, it's Vince DeLisio with the Varsity Sports Show. Saturday, we kick off our fall sports preview as we'll be out at Queen Creek High School. You'll meet Bulldogs principal Scott Lovely, then chat with coaches from football, volleyball, palm and cheer, flag, swimming, golf, strength and conditioning, cross-country, badminton, and more. The Varsity Sports Show, Saturday morning, 9 to 11 on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
The most heated argument in the history of the program coming up in about 10 minutes from now. I legitimately think this is the first time the producer, Evan, and I are on total opposite ends of a topic. There are times where we mildly disagree with one another.
We've disagreed before.
Plenty.
I couldn't be further from where you stand on this.
We are on totally different ends of something that we'll talk about in 10 minutes from now surrounding the All-Star game. But right now, I want to dive into some NBA Summer League. Now, producer Evan, when it's the weekend for you, right? We're not working on the next day's show. We're not working on our post-show content for YouTube or TikTok. By the way, TikTok's doing great lately. You want to see some social media clips, head on over to the KDUS AM 1060 TikTok. Are you tapped in? Are you paying attention to what is going on around these teams? Or do you, because I do this too, you just take, hey, 24 hours, 36 hours, I'm just going to detox. I'm going to just take a break from all of this.
I typically take my Saturday and take a step back.
Okay.
I'm assuming now, haven't been a part of the show since football season.
Correct.
So, I'm not going to be taking a step back on a Saturday.
Well, it's college football going on. There's NFL stuff on Sunday. A little harder to take those detox weekends.
But no, on a Saturday, I take my 24 hours.
Okay. Did you happen to see what occurred in Suns Twitter over the weekend?
I did not.
While Summer League was going on. So Summer League ongoing up there in Vegas. Suns have a lot of new players, right? Alawatch, Fleming, Brea, Ryan Dunn's playing, Oso Iguodala's playing. A lot of the future of the Phoenix Suns on display. And you know what is already happening? And I understand why, but this is just setting up for failure. Do you know who they are comparing Brea to? Clips circulating on social media of him taking some jump shots, some jumpers during Summer League, and saying that he reminds them of Devin Booker. And so that's why I need to have the segment of how much stock should we put in to Summer League? Because while I think it's good intentioned, while I think it's just everybody having fun with Summer League and getting excited, and that's part of it, and that's okay, come back to me. Please. Live on planet Earth for just a second. Don't set these expectations too high. If you're having fun and you want to say, hey, he reminds me of Devin Booker, but I know that he's not going to be able to live up to that. But I saw something this morning of, it's okay to think that he reminds you of Devin Booker. Like, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay for you to attach that comp to a player.
No, it's like, remember J.J. McCarthy made 2 ridiculous throws in his first preseason start? People are still holding on to that.
And again, Brea looked nice. He looked good.
He did.
I think all of the young players for the Phoenix Suns that they are trying to build around had some really nice flashes continuously. The returns on Malawatch are that he is a leader. Even at 18, 19 years old, this dude is a leader that this franchise can build around. Feels like they hit a home run there. They got lucky that he fell to them, but they took advantage of that luck, right? Think about the Indiana Pacers, right? Well, they didn't actually draft him, but Tyrese Halliburton falls to the Kings. All those teams pass him up. He goes to the Kings, then gets traded to the Pacers. Giannis falling all the way to the Bucks. All these examples of players falling late. Jokic going to the second round. You still have to make the pick. You still have to develop the player. Good on the Suns for getting the luck and taking advantage of it because it feels like they hit a home run there. But please stop comparing a second-round pick to Devin Booker because you're just going to disappoint yourself. Has he been impressive? Yes. Do I think the Suns are going to find some value with that pick compared to how other teams use their second-round picks? Absolutely. I think the Suns did well here. They're going to have a deeper, youthful, more athletic bench than they have had in a really long time. That's great. But don't compare him to Devin Booker. And that's why I'm not putting a ton of stock into what I see in Summer League. Good to see them on the floor. Good to see them on the court. Good to see them getting those reps. Good to see them developing their game. But none of this matters till we get to the season. None of this matters until we start to see them against real top-tier NBA competition, till they go through the grind of an 82-game regular season. That's when we're going to see the growth, the development, whether or not these were home run picks or not. Not a sizzle reel 30-second clip on social media.
But that is how you know it's summer. That is one of the telltale signs you're in the middle of the summer.
That we just throw all conventional wisdom out the window and we're just like, oh, next Devin Booker.
On one summer league game, on a video of anybody shooting in an empty gym, you putting too much stock into one thing. That's how you know we are in a lull in the sports calendar.
And as Michael says over on YouTube, and I agree with this, that at least they should be fun to watch this year. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway from Summer League. My takeaway from what we've seen so far is, boy, is this team going to be more fun to watch?
And they may not win a ton of games.
They're winning more games than they won.
And they will. But that still doesn't mean they're going to win a ton of games. But they're going to be far more entertaining.
Are they a 500 team? Did they win 41 games?
I think they could certainly win 41 games. A ton of games to me is 50. They're not winning 50 basketball
No, I don't
games.
think they're winning 50 games. Absolutely not. Not next year.
They could win 42 basketball games. They could be two games over 500.
Could they be 42 and 40,
Yeah.
43 and 39?
I don't think that's asking too much.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Now, it's betting strongly on these young players not hitting a wall and just breaking through and being great. And this Booker Green setup, point book, working. But it's summer. I'm being optimistic. That's a different level of optimism than comparing a rookie to Devin Booker, right? Like that. There's two different levels of optimism, and both are on display right there. Don't put those expectations on this kid. I know. I agree. Does it look like you're watching a young Devin Booker? Like from the form, from the way he creates a shot? Absolutely. Granted, the moment people pointed it out, I was like, darn, I can't unsee it. That doesn't mean you should say it out loud. That doesn't mean that it should be the comp and the talking point. Should not be the case. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, it is the All-Star Game week for Major League Baseball. And over the weekend, MLB caused themselves a little bit of a controversy. We'll weigh in on it next. It's the Lunch Break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. You know, most pest control companies use the same products we do. That's not the difference. But what is the difference is how we treat people. At Moxie, kindness counts. And it shows in every visit, every conversation, and every one of the 6,500 plus 5-star Google reviews our customers have written. Our field experts aren't just trained to handle pests. They're trained to treat your home, your family, your pets, and your time with the kind of respect you deserve. And our services come with a pest-free guarantee. Our methods and service just work better because our people are better. So if you want a pest control company you can trust in and around your home, give us a call. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
If you know, you go. At Superstar Car Wash, we're proud to have over 550,000 members. Be in the know and try what everyone loves today. Text SuperAZ to 27800 to get a free Super Protect car wash. Terms and conditions apply.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break. Hope everyone's having a great start to their week, great start to their Monday. Now, very rarely do things that happen on Friday or Saturday make it into the show on Monday, especially when they don't revolve around the teams that we talk about on a daily basis here on this program. But something happened over the weekend that I weighed in on social media, and I had some back and forth with some friends. And so I was left with no other choice than to share my opinion on this here. And again, this is our show here. This is what we do. We share opinions. We have takes. And I know that this take is going to bother a lot of people because Major League Baseball made a decision over the weekend that shocked many people because they decided to add to the National League All-Star roster Brewers rookie phenom Jacob Misiorowski. The Miz, as he is referred to by his close friends and family. A guy who has made 5 career starts in Major League Baseball was added to the All-Star game. And boy, did people not like that. Boy, were people ticked off that Jacob Misiorowski got himself an All-Star bid. Now, mind you, it is the fewest starts before going into an All-Star game, beating the record that was set by Paul Skeens when he made 11 starts before going to the All-Star game. So a new record, 5 starts. Jacob Misiorowski going to the All-Star game, will be participating here this week. I have zero problem with this. And I'll tell you why I have zero problem with this. There are 2 main reasons why this should be celebrated more than it should be panned the way that it is by many people. Reason number 1, the All-Star game at its core doesn't mean anything anymore. There's no home field advantage in the World Series on the line. It is an exhibition. This entire week is an exhibition. It is a showcase of the game of baseball. The current and future stars of this game on display for this week so that people in Seattle can see James Wood hit home runs tonight. People in Washington can see Cal Raleigh hit home runs tonight. People who don't get to see Ketel Marte and Aaron Judge and Francisco Lindor and Pete Crow Armstrong and all of these names, these players that are having great seasons across baseball that you don't get to see on a daily basis for one night, for 1 week, those players are on display. It is a showcase of the game of baseball. And what better way to showcase the game of baseball than to put a player in the All-Star game that is a phenom, a major talking point, throws a slider 94, 95 miles an hour, is a unicorn at this position, came up to the big leagues, has made these 5 starts, and people can't stop talking about him. A showcase of the game, a showcase of your current and future stars. Jacob Misiorowski fits that bill. That's reason number 1 why I have no problem with this. Reason number 2, I have no problem with this. You would have a case. You would have an argument if you were against this, if he got put in by the fans on the ballot. You would have a case if he was one of the first pitchers that was selected by Major League Baseball to represent the National League in the All-Star game. If he was the first batch of names that were dropped by Major League Baseball to be the pitchers, you would have a leg to stand on. The only reason why they got to Jacob Misiorowski's name on the list is because multiple other names, countless names, opted out, dropped out, were already pitching, so they're not going to be able to pitch in the game, and so the game needs pitchers. It took a lot for them to get to the point of the list where they went with Jacob Misiorowski. So again, if he was one of the first names that was announced, I think I would have just as much of a problem as everybody else does. But he wasn't. They went through a bunch of other names before they got to his. And I know there's a lot of anger in Philadelphia that there are some pitchers that statistically deserve to be in the All-Star game. But here's my point. Early on in this process, this should be merit-based. This should be based on your skills, based on your stats, based on your performance this season. You get to a point where a bunch of people are dropping out left and right. You know what? I'm going for sizzle. I'm going for what is going to generate more buzz, what is going to make my game more exciting. And no offense to the pitchers in Philadelphia, no offense to Merrill Kelly here in Arizona, Jacob Misiorowski's appearance and performance in the All-Star game is more valuable to Major League Baseball than those players getting it.
Okay. Are you ready for the argument against?
I am ready for you to be angry with me and tell me why I'm wrong.
Cody Clemens has pitched in more games in the last 2 seasons than Jacob Misiorowski has. That alone means he shouldn't be in the All-Star game. Second, if the game's called a showcase to showcase your best stars, call it a showcase. That's not what it is. If you sit here and baseball writers vote on the Hall of Fame and All-Star games is something that's looked at, you cannot make the game a joke. So either take the meaning out of All-Star game completely, and it doesn't help people get into the Hall of Fame. And all of that needs to mean nothing if you're going to set a precedent like this. And I know what people are going to say is I'm upset because I'm a Phillies guy and Christopher Sanchez should be in. And yes, that is part of the reason I'm upset. Was he going to pitch? No. Should he have been asked? 1,000,000%. He's the only pitcher in baseball, top 10 in ERAs, that didn't make the All-Star game. He has been one of the most effective pitchers in baseball. And I don't want to take anything away from Jacob Misiorowski and how good I believe he's going to be. But you have set a precedent right now that you need to play in 5 games before the All-Star game?
So I don't think a precedent has been set here. I don't think this is going to roll out the red carpet for them to do this every single year for a young player that comes up and is really good for a 2-3 week stretch. I don't think that's what the result of this is. I think if this was a position player conversation, I don't think Jacob Misiorowski's in the All-Star game. This has everything to do with him being a pitcher. This has everything to do with the countless number of names that dropped out, that opted out of participating because they had recently pitched and their team said, no, we don't want you pitching. And guess what? The argument of a player should be in the All-Star game starts to lose its weight with me the further down the list we go. Because Major League Baseball, when they first put the pitchers out there, that's merit-based. That's based on who should be in the All-Star game. The further down the list we go, the less I truly care if somebody should be in the All-Star game. Now, you don't take a guy who's got a 12 ERA, but Jacob Misiorowski is, when you get lower down the totem pole, when you go lower and lower on the list, I think is a fine person to put into the All-Star game. Now, again, if he was put in right away, you and I would be in lockstep. I'd have the pitchforks out, and I'd be ready to grill Rob Manfred. I'm always ready to grill Rob Manfred. But I don't have a problem with this decision. I don't have a problem with this because, to your point, you're making more of a semantics argument that just change the name of the All-Star game if that's not what it is about. They changed the meaning of the All-Star game when they chose to take away it meaning who gets home field advantage in the World Series. The right decision, by the way. But the moment they did that, the game lost its meaning. Now, you want to have the argument that baseball writers put too much value on a player making an All-Star game when debating their Hall of Fame candidacy? Boy, you've got me there. I agree with you 100%. The All-Star game at the end of the day, especially when it comes to position players, I hate to break this to everybody, it's a popularity contest. It's how big the market those players play in. So that's not really merit-based to begin with, because there are a bunch of position players that should be playing in the All-Star game that are not. Because when it comes to position players voted in by the fans, it is a popularity contest. So again, I get it. If Jacob Misiorowski was put in right away on the first batch of names that MLB picked to be pitchers, I'd be right there with you. That's not what this is.
And it's not, here's where I push back on you, is it's not that there wasn't other options. Like they didn't go down the list and go like, Jacob Misiorowski, like, he's only had 5 starts. We asked Christopher Sanchez. We asked everybody in the top 15, top 20 in the National League. No. They were like, okay, we're going to go with Miz. And that's what bothers me.
My argument is the lower down the list you go, the less it gets to be about merit-based. And the more it gets to be about who is going to make this game exciting. Robbie Ray dropped out. All these pitchers left and right dropping out. Big names that people would like to see pitch, not pitching in the All-Star game. So now, as a league, as an organization, and again, trust me, I don't like being the guy who defends Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball, okay? I think they do a lot wrong for this sport. But in this case, you got a bunch of guys dropping out. I'm losing some name value in the All-Star game. I'm now no longer, because all of these guys dropped out, the merit-based, performance-based, that's out the window. It's gone because I don't have these guys anymore. So you know what? I'm going to do what I think is going to be the best reflection of where the game is right now. And right now, as we sit here, Jacob Misiorowski is a reflection of where the game is.
Put Roman Anthony in that.
But again, it's different for position players.
But it's the same.
You don't have position players opting out left and right because they're not allowed to throw in a game, or they hadn't thrown recently. Pitching in today's baseball is a very unique thing. That's why I don't think the Pandora's box has been opened here. This is unique to this position, this year, this situation. I don't think you're now going to see all of a sudden a guy have 2 good weeks in June and that guy's got to be an all-star. No, a very unique situation came up. You had a bunch of openings because guys opted out. You had a phenom come up, light the sport on fire with how much he was being talked about, how impressive he looked. And you had a bunch of guys drop out. It was no longer merit-based. It was no longer performance-based when all these guys who we picked based on merit and performance told us in no uncertain terms, not, disrespectfully, to kick rocks.
Let me ask you this. Let's say next year, let's use next year, that given a very speedy process that Corbin Burns comes back early in the season. Let's say he comes back in June. He has 5 starts. He posted 2.5 ERA in his 5 starts. He's good. Is he an all-star?
If a bunch of guys drop out, and I think as a sport, Corbin Burns being in the All-Star game is a better reflection of my sport and a better showcase of the game, yes. You have to talk about all of the stuff that led up to this decision being made. And again, you don't have to like it. I get it. I understand why people are upset. You're entitled to that opinion. But I don't think this is the massive floodgates opening moment that people think it is. I think there's 2 very legitimate reasons why Major League Baseball did this. And again, these are not you, but there are some old-timey baseball fans who just are unable to think about the All-Star game in a different way. The All-Star game is not about competition. The All-Star game is not about...
It's not about the competition, and I understand that Jacob Mizorowski is a great watch. It's about, for me, you can't put any weight into this game at all then when you look at a player's career, and they still do.
I don't know if they do anymore. At least I don't. When evaluating somebody's Hall of Fame candidacy, them being a 10-time All-Star is you want a popularity contest 10 times.
And I'm sorry, but the game is broken. You can't have 3 MVPs, 4 MVPs over the last 10 years not make the All-Star game and then win the MVP. That can't happen.
Fair. Again, baseball's got a ton of problems that they're working through. I don't think there needs to be this gatekeeping of the All-Star game.
I don't know if it's gatekeeping. It's just you didn't go in the proper order.
And my argument is you did. And then you got to a point where, guess what? Major League Baseball well within their rights to do whatever they think is best for the game. And by game, I mean the individual game of the All-Star game. You want this to not be a thing? Tell Robbie Ray not to drop out. Tell all these pitchers not to drop out and still go and throw.
I don't have a problem with them dropping out.
Well,
I have a problem in which they attacked the order of asking people. It's not about, at least if you're going to call it the All-Star game, it shouldn't be about name recognition. And I'll stand here, and I understand you talked about it being a popularity contest for who. I am the biggest fan vote hater. I will stand up and throw my hands up. I think it's the dumbest thing in all of sports. But I stand by this for the All-Star game, for the Pro Bowl, any of these events. Like Gardner Minshew shouldn't have been a Pro Bowler.
Tyler Huntley, Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
I know. That's why we need to stop caring so much about this stuff. Use your eyeballs. Watch the player play. That's what it should be about. Their statistics, not how many All-Star games they're in. 480-864-1060, the phone number. See, we were respectful. Respectfully disagreed there. That was good. That's fair by us. We are way over time, so we need to take a quick time out. We need to get back. We need to do buy or sell. The hottest takes in all the sports coming your way next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The Offspring. Supercharged worldwide in 25. One unforgettable summer night. The Offspring, live in Phoenix. With special guests Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory. Playing Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater August 27th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. 3 great bands. 1 incredible show. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Hey, it's Pat. The other day at work, they brought in pizza for lunch. So I swooped in and I grabbed 3 slices. The coworker next to me said, "Geez, Pat, you can't have it all." Then I corrected him and said, "Yeah, I can. And you can too. With a new 2025 Toyota truck. Power and performance, capability and reliability." Well, I must have convinced him because he grabbed the plate out of my hand and he said, "Good point, Pat."
Right now, get low 1.99% financing for 72 months on a new 2025 Tundra. Or get 4.99% 60-month financing on Camry, Corolla, RAV4, and Grand Highlander. Plus, check out great lease deals on any new Toyota. Visit your Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com today. Toyota, let's go places. 1.99% with $14.75 per thousand borrowed for 72 months. 4.99% with $18.87 per thousand borrowed for 60 months. Offers end 8/4/25 and exclude TRD Pro models. See dealer for details.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KTUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
All right, we got to do this very quickly. We don't have a lot of time. Yelling about Jacob Mizorowski in the All-Star game. It's buy or sell, the hottest takes in all of Sports Talk Radio, provided to the program by the producer. And I either are buying or selling those takes. Take it away, my friend.
All right. We will start with some All-Star game festivities going on tonight. The Home Run Derby is the best special event in all of sports.
Correct.
Comparing it to the three-point, the dunk contest, anything like that.
The NBA All-Star festivities have gone to the wayside. Nobody cares about them anymore. The NHL, when they do their All-Star game instead of doing the Four Nations or the World Cup, yeah, the skills competitions are kind of fun. There is nothing like the Home Run Derby. Even though it's never done anything for me, all of the All-Star games and All-Star weeks in particular don't do anything for me.
Have you ever seen the clips? The Korean League, the KBL, does a bunt derby.
Oh, I've seen the bunt derby.
I want them
yes.
to bring that.
The bunt derby.
I need that.
Now that's entertainment.
That is awesome. Merrill Kelly won the bunt derby in Korea.
Shout out Merrill Kelly.
There you go. The D-backs season has been as disappointing as the Suns was.
Sell. More disappointing. Start of the season, way more expectations around this Diamondbacks team than the Suns. The expectation around the Suns was, hey, new coach, point guard, same group. You're going to be a top 6 seed. We'll go from there. The expectations going into this year for the Diamondbacks were top wildcard team, outside threat to challenge the Dodgers for the NL West, get into the playoffs. You can go on another 2023 type run. Way more expectations on the Arizona Diamondbacks. So way more disappointment that here we are, July 14th, and the season is over.
Paris Johnson has a good chance to win the NFL's newest award, Protector of the Year.
Bye. I mean, he's the name on this offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals. He's been excellent his first couple of years. He protects the blind side of a quarterback. I think that's always going to raise up your value a little bit more. So, yes, bye.
I love the new award, by the way.
Protector of the Year.
Love it. Need some offensive line recognition.
How about this? You play in all 17 games, and you aren't credited for a sack allowed. Automatic finalist for the Protector of the Year. Because you did your job. You played in every game. You played every snap. You didn't allow a sack. Ergo, Protector of the Year. Automatic finalist if you do that.
Love that. I would imagine that is probably a thing.
I sure hope so.
We only have 4 today. So
good, because we're kind of pressed for time here.
Last one. The All-Star game is worse since they took away the AL-NL World Series home field advantage.
How are you choosing to use the word worse?
I think it's less entertaining. Like, I have less reason to watch it.
Yes. From that, yes. Less reason to watch it, absolutely. Buy that part of it. Less entertaining?
And I think you get more players opting out. Like, do I think that more players would have played in it on the best teams? Like, I think Phillies, Mets, Cubs, Dodgers don't opt out if they think there's a chance they can get a home field advantage.
And that's why it was always stupid to attach the home field advantage to it, because, like, no offense, I'm just going to pick on them. If I'm in the American League, like, I don't need help. I'm not the one Chicago White Sox representative. Like, you're not going to help me get home field advantage. Home field advantage can't live or die based on your performance when you play for the Chicago White Sox. Like, those NL teams don't need any Miami Marlins help to try to earn home field advantage. Worse, I guess I'll buy it. It's always had a problem. These exhibition games have always had a problem generating the buzz and attention, especially in today's world where you can just always go do something else. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us. Hour number 2 of the program coming up next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Ghost World Tour 2025. Ghost, theatrical, heavy metal, arena rock. August 11th, Footprint Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Ghost.
Summer Playfest has arrived at Harris Auction Casino. This summer, win your share of $600,000 in prizes with Caesars Rewards. Plus, join us as live bands light up the stage all season long. Then stay and play for less with our buy one, get one half off hotel rates. So stay, play, and get rewarded all summer during Summer Playfest. Only at Harris Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Rewards Center for details.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes, you're proud to own, we're proud to build.
With Whataburger's new Bigger Better bundles, you can upgrade your favorite Whata meal into 2 meals. You can add a kid's Whata meal for $4 and take it home to your little you. Or you can add a double meat junior Whata meal for $5 and save it for later. For you. Or you can add a Whata Wings 9-piece for $6 and just enjoy that now. Yep, with Bigger Better bundles, you can bring the kids along. Or give it to your Uncle Mo. Or stop by and surprise your coworkers. Upgrade your Whata meal with Bigger Better bundles for a limited time. Only at What a Burger.
If you don't have gas in your home, but something doesn't smell good.
Ew, what's that smell?
If it smells like rotten eggs, there could be a leak in your neighborhood.
Now what do I do?
If you suspect a leak, move fast, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
From a safe location.
But I don't have natural gas in my home. Gas lines are buried all around, so even if you don't have gas.
I know, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. We've got a list, a Monday list. Can't you tell we're running out of ideas on a Monday for the week where there's nothing going on? Doing a list on a Monday?
Could be our only, or could not be our only list this week.
We already have a list planned for tomorrow's show. There probably will be a list on Wednesday's show. So that's coming up in about a half hour from now. The top 5 players that we think are breakout candidates for the Arizona Cardinals in 2025. That's coming up, like I said, a half hour from now. Want to start hour number 2 of the program, diving back into the Arizona Diamondbacks, who over the weekend lost 2 of 3 to the Los Angeles Angels. While not technically eliminated, while not technically saying anything public about waving the white flag and becoming sellers and moving all of these pieces, that felt like the moment over the weekend where you couldn't take advantage of playing another team that was below 500, another team that was in a similar spot as you. You weren't playing the Dodgers. You weren't playing the Mets, the Phillies, the Cubs, the Brewers, the Yankees. You weren't playing a top team. You were playing a team in the same bucket as you. You lost the first 2 games of this series. You got walked off on. You couldn't meet the moment. You couldn't go into the All-Star break with some huge momentum leading into easily now the series of the year when you start the second half against the St. Louis Cardinals, needing all 3 of those games if you are going to push this off for another couple of days. But how could you at this point? These bad losses continue to pile up, continue to show up at the worst possible time. So that leads me to wanting to have a conversation about Mike Hazen. Because this is Mike Hazen's chance to meet the moment. This is Mike Hazen's chance to take what is a bad, awful, terrible, no good. What's that book? The children's book? I think it's a Dr. Seuss book. The terrible, no good, bad.
Oh, yes.
Go to that computer that you have because you got 14 screens in there and you Google it and you tell me what it is. And I don't think this is the first time I've done this bit, but I don't remember what the title of the book is. But whatever the title of the book is, that's how I would describe this season for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Awful, terrible, no good, very bad, something. It's something along those lines. That doesn't mean it has to stay that way. It doesn't mean that this entire year needs to be thrown in the toilet and flushed.
Are you talking about Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day?
Yeah. How about the very bad season for the Arizona Diamondbacks? Yes.
The Diamondbacks and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad season.
Yes, exactly. That's how I would describe it. Was a Dr. Seuss book, right?
It is not Dr. Seuss.
Not Dr. Seuss.
It is Judith Viorst. Viorst?
I have no idea. I thought for sure that was a Dr. Seuss book. I don't know why I remember it then. But either way, the point still stands. It doesn't have to stay that way. Mike Hazen can meet the moment and turn something very, very negative into something very, very positive. Because if you trade Eugenio Suarez, if you trade Josh Naylor, if you trade one of the pitchers and you get back a return that sets you up well for 2026, all hope is not lost. Because let's talk about the reality of what being a seller at the deadline means outside of just the players that you are going to lose. It will then be a second season in which you saw the payroll increase, but the results not meet that reinvestment. Let's go back into the time machine for a second. 2023, the Arizona Diamondbacks sneak into the playoffs, and they go on a miraculous run to the World Series, shocking us all, getting to the World Series, playing the Texas Rangers, and having a chance to win another championship. They fall short, but they take us on a wild ride, a wonderful run. Everybody is excited, even though they lost, of the joy that the team brought them once the postseason began. Now, that could have just been a flash in the pan moment for this organization. That could have been a once-in-a-lifetime miracle run, and nothing could have changed. But instead, this owner, this organization, this front office chose to take the proceeds, the profits, the revenue generated, all of those home playoff games, all of that playoff television revenue by making it to the World Series, each round getting those big checks. And they decided to take that money and reinvest it into the team to balloon the payroll to $170 million. Doubling down. Hey, we made it to the World Series. Instead of just being happy to be here, happy-go-lucky, just running it back and hoping that it works out again. No, we're going to take the profits, we're going to reinvest in the team, and we're going to give it another go in 2024. And we all know how last year went on a tiebreaker, not making it into the postseason. I thought that was it. I thought that was where the house of cards was going to come crumbling down because we can pull the footage, we can pull the tapes. I, on this program, said there is no way that the payroll is going to stay at the levels that it was in 2024. I've just seen the way this team has operated in this market since moving here. I did not expect them, after not making the playoffs, after not having more playoff revenue to be able to stick into the bank account, that they were going to keep the money that high. Well, I was kind of right, because they went higher. The highest payroll in franchise history this year, to the tune of $190+ million. But for 2 straight years, there has been that reinvestment. And for 2 straight years, there is not going to be the playoff revenue to recoup, to make this team whole, to capitalize on that reinvestment, to keep the investment rolling. So we all know, and I feel pretty safe in doubling down on this prediction going into 2026. This payroll is coming down next season. Now, normally, the payroll decreasing goes hand in hand with a team no longer competing, a team no longer trying, a team no longer thinking that their competitive window is open. This is where Mike Hazen needs to meet the moment, because that doesn't have to be true in this case. Why? Because Ketel Marte is locked up long-term. Geraldo Perdomo is locked up long-term. I know he's not going to contribute for most of next season. Justin Martinez is locked up long-term. Brendan Pfaadt is locked up long-term. Gabby Moreno potentially could be next to be locked up long-term. Corbin Burns is under contract for the foreseeable future. There are a lot of hard costs already associated with the budget for the next couple of years. The core is in place. You don't have to worry about Ketel Marte's contract coming due while you're bringing the payroll down. He's already going to be a part of the payroll coming down. And so if you meet the moment, if you're Mike Hazen, and you get players here at this deadline that can fill some of the holes on this roster that this team is going to have going into next year. I don't know if Jordan Lawler is going to stick as the third baseman of this team. I do know they're going to give it every chance for him to be the everyday third baseman next season. So you're going to need a first baseman going into next year. I think you're going to need at least one outfielder going into next year. You're going to need a couple of starting pitchers going into next year. If you are able to fill those holes by prioritizing those positions in your return for Josh Naylor, for Eugenio Suarez, for one of the pitchers that you trade, if you can prioritize close to big league ready prospects, maybe not ready for 2025, but ready for the start of, if not the middle of 2026, or if you can get prospects that are ready to go and are just landlocked in their current situations, then 2026, even though the payroll is going to come down, even though it's going to feel different around this team, nothing about the expectations needs to feel different. We could start 2026 thinking that this team is in a position to compete for a wild card spot, because that's where the shifting expectations need to move to. This year, dreams have taken it to the Dodgers. Dreams of going toe-to-toe, 12-round championship fight with the Dodgers and being the underdog and pulling off the upset, making the playoffs, making noise. That was the expectation for this year. The expectation for next year is a roster that when opening day starts, we think when August of 26, when September of 26 rolls around, we think this team is going to be in the middle of a playoff battle. And so Mike Hazen can make all of that possible if he can meet the moment. If he can understand that 2026 is not lost because 2024 and 2025 went the way that they did. That 2026 doesn't have to be a tear-down transitional year for this team, as long as he attacks this trade deadline successfully. And he can parlay that success into an offseason where, with whatever limited money he has available to him, he can address those moves on the margin, maybe make a trade here or there to add a starter or an extra depth piece, however the roster looks when we get to the winter. If he's able to do that, there is no reason that when spring rolls around of 2026, that we're not talking about a team that should be right center in the mix of the NL wildcard race. That work starts today. That work starts July 31st, 2025. So for those out there who think by trading Naylor and by trading Suarez and by trading one of the pitchers that you're punting on 2026, that you're giving up, that your next true competitive window is 2027, I say you're wrong. I say that you are underestimating this core that the Diamondbacks have put together, and you are underestimating what Mike Hazen is going to be able to do. What if in these trades that he makes, He adds one starter for next year's rotation. He adds a first baseman for next year's lineup. He adds another starter that might be close and could contribute late or in the middle of 2026. And then he can go into the offseason with a much better idea of where his roster currently sits. What if he can make that happen now to where he has less needs to fill this offseason? This is why I keep saying the priority for Mike Hazen needs to be on close to, if not already ready, big league prospects. If you do that, we're going to continue to use this phrase, meet the moment, 2026 doesn't have to be a lost season.
This is an opportunity to put yourself as a competitive baseball team. And if you can get yourself a pitcher that can start in your rotation, a starting first baseman or outfielder, if you can find 2 starters or significant impact players, and significant makes it sound like you need one. So no, you need to find impact players.
Contributors.
You find 2 to 3. What a home run that trade deadline was. And I know what you're saying. You're losing 4. I get that. But you know what you would get for them? Compensation picks who you wouldn't see till June or July, even if you drafted them.
Right.
And then you have to put them through the minor league system.
You want to call 2026 a lost season. That's exactly what you do if you don't trade these guys right now. Because, yeah, you can get compensatory picks, but then you're using those picks in the 2026 MLB draft. And, oh, by the way, it's probably at least 4 seasons before those guys that you draft are able to contribute. We're going to wait around 2030? No. You still have a competitive window right now. Yes, the financials about this organization are going to dramatically change this offseason. That is a given. The way you still operate with those changing financials is you get a Spencer Jones from the New York Yankees in a trade for Eugenio Suarez. That's a starting outfielder next season. That's somebody that immediately goes into your lineup. Because, oh, by the way, and I'm going to hit the drop again, because now what's going to happen when this guy gets at bats every single day? Maybe he's the player that he is down in Reno. I know he's hurt right now, but maybe he starts playing to the back of his baseball card and plays up to his potential. Oh, yeah, Drew Jones is right around the corner. Did you see, by the way, they had Troy playing center field over the weekend?
I did see that.
That's interesting. One of their top prospects who's never played out there before, playing out there over the weekend. Again, all of these, I think, are moves on the chessboard setting up for 2026.
Because, again, I think over the last week, they've had the chance to kind of step back and say, okay, where are we? What do we need? And when you start looking forward to 2026, you start making those moves. You start making those minor adjustments that can put you in a position for next year and the year after.
Brian from Chandler over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream says, what you're describing is punting 2026. Here are the 2 choices that the Diamondbacks have. And this is why I disagree that this is punting on 2026. They have 2 choices. Here are the 2 choices that the Diamondbacks have right now. Because I know everybody thinks there's a third choice, but that third choice isn't a reality. And it's my job here on this program to tell you when that reality doesn't exist. The 2 choices they have: trade these guys at the deadline, get something back that can help them speed this process up and be relevant in 2026, and then flow it into 2027. Option 2 is to not do anything. Let the season run its course. Get your qualifying offers, your compensatory picks for the players that are going to leave in free agency, and watch those players go play someplace else. There is not this dream third fantasy land where these guys come back, where you run it back with Josh Naylor, where you run it back with Eugenio Suarez, where you run it back with Merrill Kelly and Zach Allen. That world doesn't exist. That world doesn't exist because you've missed the playoffs the last 2 seasons while running up the payroll. It doesn't work that way. I know you don't want it to work that way. I know you want the Arizona Diamondbacks to spend $200, $215, $220 million to field a competitive team. That's not the way things work around here. That reality doesn't exist. You want that reality to exist? Then this team needed to make the playoffs this year. This team needed to go to the postseason, go on a run, get those playoff dollars. Then you can keep the payroll this high and keep those players around if you want. But missing the playoffs for 2 straight seasons means a financial reckoning is coming to this organization. Mike Hazen, meeting the moment means get ahead of it. Understand that this winter, you're not going to be really active. So guess what? Be active now with the pieces that can help you in 2026. There is not a third. You're living in fantasy land if you think that the right thing and a thing that's actually possible for the Arizona Diamondbacks is for them to just run it back next season. You're living in a fantasy land. What about this organization in its history tells you that that's on the table? There's nothing. The reason why the payroll's gone up the last 2 years is because they reinvested the money from the World Series team. And then Ken Kendrick gave you a mulligan on 2024 and said, in his head, he's probably thinking, I should bring the payroll back down because we don't have the postseason money from this year. But you know what? I'm going to give a freebie, a mulligan. I'm going to increase the payroll by $20 million. I'm going to let you go out and get Corbin Burns, even though we signed Jordan Montgomery, because that one's on me. That mistake's on my ledger, not yours, Mike Hazen. And guess what? They're not going to sniff the postseason. So the financial reckoning is right around the corner. That's the way this is going to go. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is no dreamland. There is no fantasy land. This is not Disney World where all your dreams come true. Those players are not coming back next season. It is financially impossible for this organization to pull that off. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, perhaps some respect potentially going Kyler Murray's way. I'll explain next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Phoenix, Saturday night soccer is calling. Join Phoenix Rising on August 2nd at 7:30 p.m. as they take on Birmingham Legion in a can't-miss summer showdown. Enjoy the popular $4 3-for-3 menu with a $4 all-beef hot dog and $3 drink specials available all game long. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Great food, great match, all for a great price.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Saturday, October 25th. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets from $30. On sale now at livenation.com. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Part of the American First Credit Union Concert Series.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. If you haven't noticed, the summer's here. The triple digits are settling in, and we know the heat isn't the only thing feeling heavy. Got a tight budget? That's why we're offering new AC units starting at just $99 a month. But that's not it. You could also get up to $3,000 in federal tax credits and rebates. It's never been a better time to upgrade. Beat the heat and budget the stress. Make the precision decision today. Call us at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Precision decision with Precision Air.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Baseball's trade deadline is still weeks away, but the rumor mill is already heating up. And the names being floated, anything but minor. Could the Red Sox really move on from Alex Bregman less than a year into that massive deal? It sounds crazy, but Boston's been unpredictable before. Then there's Seth Lugo, a steady, reliable arm who's quietly anchoring Kansas City's rotation. And don't overlook Cleveland's Emmanuel Clase, one of the best closers in the game who could instantly transform a bullpen. This isn't your usual trade deadline window where fringe bats and long relievers dominate the headlines. They're real impact names being discussed. And with so many teams hovering around the wild card bubble, one could flip the balance of power. Maybe you need a bat or a trusted arm. In a league defined by October, July might be where the most important moves are made. If these names hit the market, buckle up. This trade deadline could shift the entire postseason picture. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. You ever go car shopping and just walk back to your old car and say, you know what? You're not so bad. Maybe a new paint job, maybe fix up those dents and dings. New car prices are going crazy now. Interest rates, prices, everything is up. Maaco can make your current ride look like new. Paint touch-ups, dent repairs, fresh bumper. It's a little like a car makeover is what it is. At Maaco, they make it easy. Come in for a free estimate, and their expert technicians will handle the rest. Quick turnaround, by the way. Real value. That's what Maaco does. And we're keeping our cars longer. So make your current ride feel new again. Before you shell out for something new, make your old look new. With Maaco's national reach and community focus, you're not just getting top-notch service. You're actually getting a partner you can trust. Go to Maaco.com today. You'll find a shop near you and book an appointment. That's Maaco, MAACO.com. And remember, better get Maaco.
Hey listeners, it's Vince DeLisio with the Varsity Sports Show. Saturday, we kick off our fall sports preview as we'll be out at Queen Creek High School. You'll meet Bulldogs principal Scott Lovely, then chat with coaches from football, volleyball, pom and cheer, flag, swimming, golf, strength and conditioning, cross-country, badminton, and more. The Varsity Sports Show, Saturday morning, 9 to 11 on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
A Cardinals-related list coming in about 10 minutes from now. We have checked in periodically on the ESPN top 10 lists that they have been running during this slow time of year. They've been ranking every position in football and going through the top 10. And today caused quite the firestorm on social media. Producer Evan, they dropped the quarterback list today. As you could imagine, since it's everybody's, we used to call baseball the national pastime. Ranking quarterbacks is our new national pastime as a sports watching community.
It is the most controversial 5 through 10. Like everybody has the top 4.
Do you have the list in front of you?
I don't. I'm just saying in general, like for everybody, it's the most, by feel 5 through 10.
Could you do me a favor? I don't have my tablet here in the studio. I forgot it today. Could you pull up the list? Because yes, the top 4 are the 4 names that you would expect to be in the top 4. Patrick Mahomes, number 1. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Those are the 4 names that when doing a quarterback ranking list, you put those 4 names at the top. Mina Kimes said a great tweet about this morning. She said, you put Mahomes 1, and then you put the next 3 in whatever order you want, and that's cool with everybody. Like, that's fine. You want to put Allen 2, fine. You want to put Lamar 2, understandable. Mahomes is 1. Those next 3 are in some order, 2 through 4, and then it is the wild, wild west, 5 through 10. So you have the list.
I have it right here.
Start at 5 and work your way down, and then we'll discuss the Kyler Murray angle to all of this.
5, Jaden Daniels.
Okay. Now we are ranking these players going into the upcoming season. So if you wanted to have the sample size argument, I can understand that. But based on the year he had last year, going into this year, I get this. I don't know if I could do it, but I get it.
6, Matthew Stafford.
I think Matthew Stafford in his career very underrated as a quarterback, so good to see him get the recognition that he deserves. I'm fine with this.
7, Justin Herbert.
Now, you in particular are a Justin Herbert hater.
I am.
So what do you make of him being 7th on this list? Are you okay with this positioning?
Yeah, and again, this is going to be, I'm an Eagles guy, whatever. In no way should he ever be higher on a list Jalen Hurts.
And you just let your biases just show all the time.
And I'm about to let it not show here. He shouldn't be higher than Jared Goff. And this is
Now that's an interesting opinion. That's an interesting take.
Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Switched teams.
Yep.
Is now relevant again.
Yep.
With a different team.
Correct.
That people think is the powerhouse of the NFC.
This is all truthful statements that you're making right now. The same.
Justin Herbert is and I hate to use this word, but I can't. Has been a career loser in big games. And this goes from an NFL standpoint when all they had to do was tie the Raiders to get in the playoffs. They lost.
Blew the game against Jacksonville.
And then put up, and I mean this, and I'm going to be very clear in this, one of the worst quarterbacking performances I've seen in a playoff game to date.
Yeah.
Other than Tyrod Taylor and Blake Bortles, and there had to be a winner in that one.
You are correct that his resume works against him, and that until he wins that big game in the playoffs and takes the team on a run, I think there's always going to be a knock against him. And I think I agree that Jared Goff falls into the same bucket I feel about Matthew Stafford, where he's underrated. I don't know if I feel comfortable putting Goff inside the top 7, but Goff as a top 10, top 12 quarterback, I think that's a slam dunk.
9 is Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
And 10 is Baker Mayfield.
Wow. Baker love. I like the Baker love.
I love the Baker love.
I mean, Baker's great. I thought he was great coming out of college. I thought the Cleveland Browns did him wrong. He reinvented himself, and now he is leading that Tampa Bay team in the post-Brady era.
I mean, how many times do you see a quarterback get cast away like he did and kind of revamp it as quickly as he did, right? He goes to LA. It arguably saved his career.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, you thought that when he left Cleveland and he went to Carolina and then it didn't work in Carolina, you thought it was over. Done. Quarterbacks don't get up from 2 cities, 2 markets telling them you're not good enough. Went to LA for a brief cup of coffee, then went to Tampa, and it's been nothing but positive things in Tampa since then. Now, why do we bring this list up in reference to Kyler Murray? Because I was floored when I scrolled down and I saw in the others receiving votes category that somebody, maybe multiple somebodies, I don't know, put Kyler Murray in their top 10 quarterbacks ahead of the 2025 season.
Yes, you have 2 honorable mentions in C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love.
Yeah, not an honorable mention for Kyler Murray, but he got a vote. That shocked me.
Also receiving votes. He is the first name on the also receiving votes.
If we take this the way the others receiving votes works in college basketball polls, that normally means that this person got the most votes out of anybody that's going to be listed here, right? That's how it works when you look at the AP top 25 in football or in college basketball. The team that's the top others receiving votes means they got the most votes. So Kyler Murray got more votes than all the names you're about to mention. That's the only way I'm going to read this.
Kyler Murray is the first name on the list before Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Tua Tagovailoa, and Bo Nix.
Now,
and also, I got so many questions. Who put Tua, Bo Nix, and Rodgers in their top 10?
Somebody's out here saying Bo Nix is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
And I like Bo.
Sure. I thought he had an okay rookie season. He's not a top 10 quarterback. Somebody watched Aaron Rodgers play the last 2 seasons and now at 42 years old is going to say, you know what? Still a top 10 quarterback. Are you kidding me? Somebody still wants to do the Dak Prescott top 10 thing, huh? Kyler Murray, the first name in the others receiving votes. So interestingly enough, not enough votes to be an honorable mention, but enough votes to be the top others receiving votes. That feels like a very fine line for Kyler Murray. That feels like right on the edge.
Let's break it down.
Okay.
By rule of addition here, he just has to be the 13th best quarterback.
If we were taking the 10 in the order, and then we were saying the first 2 honorable mentions are 11 and 12, then yes, basic arithmetic, basic math puts Kyler Murray 13th. Which
it's probably, we always say around the 15 mark.
Right. I think that's a very optimistic view of Kyler Murray. I think that's putting him more towards where his ceiling is than his floor. But I've long said that if Kyler Murray is a top 12 quarterback, a top 10 quarterback for this team next season, they will be a playoff team. That's all they need is top 12 in the league quarterback play from their quarterback. Limiting the mistakes, keeping them in games, making those plays when they need him to. Who are the two honorable mentions?
The two honorable mentions were C.J. Stroud was the first one and Jordan Love was the second one.
Honest question.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that Kyler Murray can't have better statistical seasons than both of those guys? He could have a better statistical year than both of those gentlemen.
Jordan Love, certainly.
He can have a better. C.J. Stroud did not have a good year last year.
He
C.J.
did not.
Stroud took a step backwards. Now, I don't know if it was injuries, but he took a step backwards.
I mean, that offensive line was really, really bad, and they got banged up.
And then they traded one of their best linemen.
And it was a revolving door up front. Maybe he could have better numbers, but I don't think you would watch the game and say Kyler Murray was better than C.J. Stroud this year. If you watched all 17, I don't see a world where that happens. Especially, I like Houston's weapons significantly more.
I'm just asking the question, is it out of the realm of possibility for him to have a better statistical year than both of those guys?
No, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. I think that very easily he could have better numbers than what Jordan Love has.
Who was 10 on the list?
10 was Baker.
He could have a better statistical year than Baker Mayfield.
Yes, Baker's going to throw for more yards and more touchdowns.
But
he could turn the ball over more.
Right.
9, Jalen Hurts. He could have a better statistical year than Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are just going to win 14 games.
Sure, because of the way that their team is built.
The way their team is built.
That's the way the Cardinals are trying to build themselves.
He could have better numbers than Jared Goff if they really commit to running the football.
Yeah. I don't think that there can be a world where Kyler Murray has a top 10 statistical season next year.
He won't have better numbers till Justin Herbert till January when it becomes important, but
you just had to
until then.
One more as
Herbert's
we go to break.
gonna
just one more little jab before we go to break. Some respect potentially going Kyler Murray's way. Perhaps a little bit of respect going his way ahead of the season. But I thought this quarterback, anytime you rank quarterbacks,
it's a ton of fun.
Everybody's ready to weigh in. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, a list. The top 5 breakout candidates for the Arizona Cardinals ahead of the 2025 season. That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Lincoln Park. From Zero World Tour 2025.
You ready?
Live in Phoenix. Footprint Center, Saturday, September 6th, with special guest Gene Dawson. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit lincolnpark.com.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
To everyone who believes a good meal can always be made even better, come try our new chicken sandwiches at Culver's.
We've taken our classic chicken sandwich and brought it to the next level. I'm talking bigger, juicier chicken with crispier, crunchier breading. And it's all served on a buttery brioche bun and topped with crisp dill pickles, creamy mayo, and fresh lettuce and tomato. Even better, you can make any sandwich your own with a few extra toppings. throw on some real Wisconsin cheddar cheese, add thick cut bacon, or both. We'll make it fresh just for you, just the way you like it. Whether you go for crispy, spicy crispy, or grilled chicken, you're sure to enjoy your first bite and every bite after that. So are you ready to try our tasty take on a tried and true classic? We've got a table waiting with your name on it. From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Babe, I thought you were putting together a box of donations for me to drop off at Goodwill.
I am. I'm reliving my rocker days in the process.
But that leather jacket hasn't been your style since the 90s?
You're right. I guess it's time to pass it on to someone new.
Don't worry. I still think you're cool. Let's go to Goodwill.
Get a 20% off coupon when you donate one full bag of usable goods by August 31st. Ask your donation attendant for the QR to scan and claim your digital coupon.
This fall, choose Primavera Online, and you'll be choosing a school with flexibility, personalized support, and an award-winning curriculum that's over 20 years strong. Now enrolling grades K to 12 at chooseprimavera.com.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
A list on a Monday. Yes. The top 5 breakout candidates. Now, we went back and looked at this. We did the top 5 most important players outside of Kyler Murray ahead of the 2025 season. And the reason why we brought this up today is The Athletic dropped a story with their one breakout pick for all 32 teams. And I didn't want to just discuss one name. I said, you know what? Let's go for the gusto. Let's go big time. So we're going to do a list of 5. And since it is an NFL-themed list, I'm going to play the NFL music while we do it. 5-1 is how we always do this. Producer Evan, your list ready to go?
My list is ready to go. I don't know how glued I am to my order.
I'm speaking directly to the diehards, the P1s. Do we not say this every list we do? Is that not the first words out of either of our mouths anytime we do a list? You know, I've got them in an order. I'm not really married to it, though. I could be swayed as we do this. I feel like it doesn't matter the list.
Every time
we can be swayed. Now, do you want to set? I have not seen your list. You have not seen my list. 3.5 overlap. You want to set the line there? 2.5. Where do you want to set the line?
I think it's 2.5.
2.5.
I think my list is a little out there.
I've got 2 names that are out there.
Okay. I think I have 2 names that are out there.
What's your breakdown offense versus defense?
3 defense, 2 offense.
Okay, so I have 3 offense, 2 defense.
Okay.
So that's interesting. That's an interesting split. I will start with my number 5. Yeah. Top 5 breakout candidates for the Arizona Cardinals in 2025. And maybe this is me willing this into existence because they didn't address this in the offseason. And so this is me just wanting them to have this position filled. So I'm putting this guy on the list, and I'm putting him number 5. Wide receiver Michael Wilson.
Ah, there it is.
Number 5.
I had him at 4. that was classic.
Had to put him on there because this team needs a wide receiver too. And part of getting onto the breakout list is opportunity, right? You have to have a chance to break out. Like I could pick the 3rd string offensive tackle to break out. There's not a lot of opportunity there. You need to have opportunity. Well, guess what? A lot of opportunity for Michael Wilson because they did not get a wide receiver too. They ran it back with the group that they had a year ago. They still talk up Michael Wilson every chance they get. So I put him number 5 on my list.
Had Michael Wilson at 4, which will lead us into the next one. But at 5, kind of an interesting name here. I like what they've done with the room, especially in the draft. I'm going to go with Max Melton.
Okay. Max Melton, way higher up on my list.
Really?
Way high up. Do you want me to reveal where I've got him? Number 2, Max Melton. This team lost Sean Murphy-Bunting. Somebody's got to step up and be that CB1, be that shutdown corner, be that leader alongside Budda Baker out there. Max Melton is that guy. We talk about opportunity. Nobody out there in that corner room has a bigger opportunity to be a star than Max Melton. I put him at number 2. My number 4, staying on the offensive side of the ball. One of my 3 offensive players. The identity of this football team, producer Evan, is what?
Can I tell you, I think I know where you're headed with him, and I had him higher.
You put Trey Benson higher on your list?
Yeah.
Trey Benson, number 4 on my list.
Number 2 on my list.
So we had Max Melton and Trey Benson flipped, but so far 3 names. So we set the 3.5. We're at 3 right now with 2 names to go, and I've got 2 pretty big names left on my list. This team's going to run the ball a lot. And I know they gave James Conner the extension, but I said it at the time, as this James Conner extension goes on, as we get later and later into the extension, I think the roles are going to flip, where Trey Benson is going to take over being the lead back and James Conner is going to be the complementary piece. This year, I still think it's going to be James Conner as the lead back, Trey Benson is the complementary piece. And a lot of people thought he was going to be a breakout star last year in this offense because they love to run the ball. Maybe some growing pains, making the adjustment from the college game to the program, the pro game, excuse me. I expect a breakout this year. I expect a jump to where he really, truly is that number 2 complementary piece. And we see that home run hitting ability from Trey Benson. I have him at number 4.
Later in the year, I thought he was more explosive.
Yes.
I thought he had better vision. I just thought he looked like a way more competent runner of the football as they got later into the year. I think he's a home run pick, and I think that this is really, it just comes down to how much workload is he going to get.
Number 3.
Okay. I don't know if this is allowed. I took a rookie.
Breakout is,
Walter Nolan.
So I have somebody at that same position. I have the guy entering year 2. I have Darius Robinson at number 3. So we have the same position.
And we just hit the over.
Do you have Robinson number 1?
Yeah.
Okay, I have somebody else number 1. You can guess who I have number 1. We'll get to him in a second. So I like what we were thinking the same wavelength there about somebody along this defensive line, because nobody did it last year. Somebody's got to break out. And the veterans, you just know what you're going to get from the veterans. So I leaned on the guy who's entering year 2, who had the rough rookie year, stuff going on in his personal life, the injury in his professional life, just not able to get his 2 feet on the ground and just be able to have a normal rookie campaign. I think year 2 is going to be a big year for him. So I have Darius Robinson at number 3. Now, number 2, you had Trey Benson. Oh, you had Michael Wilson or Trey Benson at number 2?
I had Trey Benson at 2.
I had Max Melton at number 2. My number 1, Marvin Harrison Jr.
I knew he was going to be on your list. And can I tell you, I took him off my list because that's...
I mean, what?
It almost felt like too much of a home run.
Well,
when
he's the number 1 option, he's the number 1 option.
And he wasn't bad last year.
How many times do we have to say it? Did not have a bad rookie year, but did not meet expectations. And so part of breaking out is you wow people, right? Opportunity is one way to break out, but the other way to break out is you exceed the expectations. You show everybody, because guess what? Can you see the world where it's week 7, week 8, and he's just having a fantastic year, and everyone goes, that's the guy they drafted number 4 overall. Guess what? That's a breakout. So I put Marvin Harrison Jr. number 1.
To recap our list,
Michael
1 through
Wilson
5.
Michael Wilson 5 for me. Trey Benson 4. Darius Robinson 3. Max Melton 2. Marvin Harrison Jr. 1. My top 5 breakout candidates for the Arizona Cardinals in 2025.
Max Melton sat at 5 for me. Michael Wilson at 4. Walter Nolan clocks in the list at 3. Trey Benson at 2. Rounding it out with Darius Robinson as the top 5 breakout candidates for the Arizona Cardinals.
It could be viewed as a good thing or a bad thing that this team has so many breakout candidates. With so many breakout candidates, there is a risk of none of them breaking out and this team hitting a very low ceiling. But then there's the world where a bunch of them, if not all of them, break out and what that ceiling then becomes. But some really key positions, some really key players on this list. And I'm starting to get excited for football season as we get closer and closer. We got one more here for you before we're out of here on a Monday. It is the leftovers. All the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We'll do them next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Make memories you'll cherish for years to come. Join Miss Appleberry, JJ, Cody, Nina, and Cece for a lively Melon Patch musical adventure in this exciting interactive live show. Saturday, October 4th and Sunday, October 5th at the Arizona State Fair. Sing along. Dance along. Play together. Tickets on sale now at azstatefair.com and include Arizona State Fair admission. It's a celebration of connection and childhood wonder. Coco Melon Sing Along Live inside the Coliseum at the Arizona State Fair.
Hi, welcome to IKEA.
Hey, I'm moving into my dorm soon and I don't know where to start.
You're in the right place. IKEA family members save up to 15% off college essentials to help you feel right at home.
Okay, wow. Maybe you can help me pick my classes too?
Furniture is more my thing.
Fair.
Visit us in-store or online from 7/1 to 8/5 for more details. Offer valid 7/1 to 8/5/25. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary. See store and IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for details. Restrictions apply.
In Las Vegas, live music doesn't just start. It hits different. The biggest names in music will be taking the stage. Beyonce, Pitbull, Nas with the Las Vegas Philharmonic, Motley Crue, Gym Class Heroes, Kelly Clarkson, Janet Jackson, Lynyrd Skynyrd, live in Vegas. Go to visitlasvegas.com to see the full summer lineup.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Back to wrap up today's edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Jim Rome coming up at the top of the hour. It is the leftovers, all the stories you didn't get to throughout the course of the program. Producer Evan, I have a leftover story for you.
Oh, you do?
Did you see, because I only saw it during the break, Team USA for the World Baseball Classic has their starting catcher.
Our American League MVP.
Our American League MVP, Cal Raleigh, is in. He will be participating for Team USA in the upcoming World Baseball Classic. So made that news official at the All-Star Game Media Day, which is going on as we speak. The Home Run Derby, Cal Raleigh will be participating in tonight as those festivities are down in Atlanta over the weekend. Okay, that was my leftover story. I don't want to steal your thunder. So the rest of the leftover stories, I will pass the baton over to you, my friend.
Okay. Huge news out of Netflix today.
Okay.
Have you seen this?
No, I'm a little concerned, but okay.
So Netflix announced their newest show, Any Given Saturday, premiering August 5th. And it is following around and highlighting the biggest games in the SEC.
So this is like a
24/7 kind of for the biggest matchups in SEC football.
A very much this is maybe too obscure of a reference. The F1 Drive to Survive show on Netflix, the quarterback show on Netflix, the in-season Hard Knocks that Amazon Prime does.
But the way it's being described,
Okay.
I think it's leading up to the game. It's like, I think you're going to get.
What?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not in as much. I'm not in on this as much.
I think this is interesting. And I want to hear you because you're not a quarterback. You're not a Hard Knocks guy.
No, you want to know why?
When you do it with college football, it becomes more interesting because, and hear me out on this, when you're drafting a player for your team, so like if we're the Cardinals,
okay,
and let's say they have the 20th pick next year and they're mocked to a couple SEC guys, isn't it something you go back and watch and see how that guy interacts in the show, see how he handles himself? Because a lot of these guys, you're drafted mentality. If you don't draft a winner, it's hard to be good. Who cares? And you probably ask, who cares? Well, I think if the Chargers got a great look into Justin Herbert to know that in big games he struggles, they would have changed their mind.
If you don't think that these teams know everything about a player, they're talking to, especially the guys they're taking in the first round, they're talking to high school coaches. They're talking to high school teachers. They're talking to high school tutors. They're talking to outside positional coaches that you went to. They're talking to every single member of a university. Hey, did you ever interact with so-and-so? What was that interaction like? They are going through this. The movie Draft Day talks about this. We continuously reference this movie on the program, but they talk about that all the time, about nobody going to Bo Callahan's birthday party. Teams know everything about everybody.
I just want to make it very clear that in that case, Cleveland didn't know anything about Bo Callahan.
Well, because they were not scheduled to have the number 1 overall pick, and then they had to do all their work in real time. But I'll give you a perfect example. Everybody knew about Laramie Tunsil. Everybody knew where they felt comfortable taking him on their draft boards, knowing everything about him. Then what happened that day the draft started?
Yeah, a video surfaced that dropped him down boards.
Because teams didn't have that in any of their reports. They were not ready for that information. That surprised them. They then didn't know what to do with the information. All of these teams know pretty much everything about everybody. So no, I don't think you're going to see scouts going through the Netflix show.
Oh, I disagree. I still think they're going to watch it.
Well, no, they're going to watch it, but they're not going to watch the video and go, I was going to take this kid, but now I saw the way he was on any given Saturday, so he's out. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Because they're going to know before they sit down and watch the show. Or if they watch the show while this is this something that's going to air during the year? Or
during the year, August 5th, it'll premiere.
They're going to watch it if they are watching it. But when they get to draft night, they're going to have done all this work and have done a whole bunch of extra research to where that show's not going to impact their draft.
When the first combine interview gets released on tape and we see somebody from the SEC receive a question about this show, I'm going to be saying, I told you so. Who cares?
Who cares what you get asked during a combine interview? They purposely ask stupid stuff.
The teams care.
Pass. I will not be watching. But you knew that already. You knew that.
I did. Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal announces the All-Star game starters tomorrow. This is who should be starting the All-Star game. No doubts about it.
They should have put Jacob Mizorowski up there just to really make everybody's heads explode. No, these are the right two guys to be starting. Paul Skeens is having an incredible year in Pittsburgh, even though he's got not the best of results to show for it because the team behind him stinks. Stinks out loud, I think, is what we say here on this program. And then for Tariq Skubal, I mean, the Tigers are a great story. They've been excellent. He's been excellent. He's a Cy Young candidate once again. So, yeah, glad that both of these guys are available. They're able to pitch because, again, I use the term showcase to describe the All-Star game. What a perfect showcase for your game than those two guys on the mound.
Speaking of showcase, Saturday was Byron Buxton bobblehead day.
Oh, you want to talk about a showcase.
and he hit for the cycle in his last at bat, capping it off with the home run.
A 5-for-5 day, if I remember correctly, for Byron Buxton. I have seen a cycle in person once.
Same.
I saw
Jorge Polanco.
I saw Matt Kemp hit for the cycle when he was a Padre at Coors Field. Craziest thing I've ever seen. Because there's sort of this moment where he gets up there and you look at the Jumbotron and it tells you what he's done already. And you're like, oh, he's a triple short of the cycle. And then I'm watching older version Matt Kemp in Coors Field and I'm like, I don't think he's going to be able to hit for a triple here. But then he puts one in the gap in Coors, and it's Coors, so it just runs and runs and runs, and he's able to hit the triple and get the cycle. So the cycle, while not a super historic thing because it has happened a bunch, it is a cool thing to witness in person.
It's so fun. I did it. So we saw Jorge Polanco hit for it in Philadelphia, and he hit the home run last.
And now that's cool.
Fair or foul down the line, hit the pole.
You're like leaning. You're like, did he get it?
Hit the pole. So that was pretty cool.
This edition of the program was pretty cool. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope everyone's had a great start to their Monday. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Jim Rome is coming up next. Everybody, have a great rest of your Monday. Enjoy the Home Run Derby. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya!